What is going on, everyone?
Hello.
We are back with the Pound / Marvel Media Podcast. This is the Comic Corner. I'm Slash.
I'm Pound. We make PNS. There's Persephone trying to kill the birds. Right. He's but I'm dead ass. Hey,
also true.
And that cat is just like, yo.
So,
if you fall, I'm gonna take him out.
We actually have a pretty interesting.
Right. Interesting. Not good nor bad.
Just interesting.
Yeah.
An interesting lineup for you.
They're
guys
mid.
today.
Everything is mid. I go back to that dude from AEW. All of this, Cincinnati Bengals, mid. Like, damn. All right.
We actually had a couple really good stories out of this. Now, I do want to let you guys know we are not going to have the aid that you would normally see up on the screen for those of you watching on YouTube. I felt it was not worth the effort that it takes to put in. Plus, I was extremely unmotivated this week. That's the biggest part of it. But mainly, I'm not going to bring it back for a while unless people start requesting something to come back along those lines. Just because putting in the amount of effort that it takes to create that thing every week and then only get 2 or 3 people to watch, which is fine.
But granted, it looks nice. I swear, he does it nice. Like, it makes it like a legit comic. You know? Yeah.
So hopefully, you know what these characters look like.
Right. Google them.
Meow. Meow.
This cat's trying to.
Hi, baby.
This cat's trying to kill the birds. Nope. That's her communicating. She's saying, don't sleep. Don't go to sleep.
Right. So
you can hear loud noise. Like, what the fuck was that?
The first comic that we come across is actually The Amazing Spider-Man number 12. This issue was called Unmasked by Dr. Octopus.
Yep. Round 3? Round 3 against the Doc Ock?
Yep. This was published May 10th, 1964, written by Stan Lee, penciled and inked by Steve Ditko. So we start off with taking off the banner that I didn't mean to leave up. That's what we're going to start off with. All right. And then we start off with Spider-Man being trashed in the Bugle because he let Doc Ock escape. Right,
because this is a continuation. I like that. I like these stories, though. Like, you got a few stories here, but this one is a continuation because it's like, you could have did something for, like, or Spider-Man or whatever. You could have did something, but he let him go. So,
So he goes to pay JJ a visit, but as he gets there, he sees that Betty has actually shown up for work instead. So he turns it back into Peter, and comes in to visit Betty, but then is quickly rushed out by JJ.
Oh yeah.
Doc Ock is robbing places all over the nation,
of course,
preparing for his run-in with Spider-Man. However, he wonders why Spidey hasn't quite come for him yet. Meanwhile, we find out it's because Peter is a teenager. He's sick, and he's also getting picked on by a bunch of assholes at school.
It's pretty much everybody again.
That he could beat the shit out of.
With barely convenience. Could crack their necks, actually. Scary thing, bro.
Doc Ock ends up calling Betty, who answers, but Doc Ock doesn't talk because he plans on using her for bait, and he is also a creepy phone-breathing motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like... what's your favorite scary movie? Like, oh, shit! Hang up the phone!
Why did I answer?
Why did I answer? Drew Barrymore?
As Parker shows up for Betty after work, she's kidnapped by Doc Ock, and he tells JJ to put an extra out for Spidey to meet him at Coney Island and to send a photographer. Peter leaves and comes back as Spidey to find out what JJ actually knows.
Right.
And even though he knows, he has to still play the part. As he's leaving, he ends up slipping off of the wall because he is, in fact, getting sick. JJ also decides to go to Coney Island himself to try and stay hidden. And try and stay hidden because he wants to see it all happen.
Right.
Spidey shows up just as Betty breaks free, and Spidey surprise attacks Doc. However, since his powers are gone because he's sick, the fight quickly changes hands, and Doc gets the upper hand really quick. He ends up knocking Peter out, at which point Doc Ock unmasks him and is mad that Peter, quote-unquote, took Spider-Man's place. Now, nobody knows he's actually Spider-Man, but everyone feels like he did this just to save Betty because he wasn't actually giving it his all. Because he couldn't.
This is, like you said, interesting. This is an interesting story because it's like, because when I saw it, I was like, what? Hey, yo, whoa. Hey, yo, it threw me off. I was like, but then they play it off like, it's just fucking a teenager. I'm like, what?
Right.
Hey, I'm still shocked. Like, cause you see Spider-Man so long, it's like, he's been unmasked. I thought it happened like later on. Like, I've never seen this before. This is something new to me, bro. Like, I've never seen that.
Doc throws Peter to the side and leaves, pissed off.
Because he thought he was fighting Spider-Man.
Right. Peter is seen by a doctor. It turns out it's only a 24-hour bug. Next day, Peter promises to burn the suit to Aunt May, is both praised and picked on by kids at school for being brave and being stupid. All while Doc Ock releases animals from the zoo. As Peter escapes from the newly lovesick Liz, who is now up his ass, like, oh my god, you're so brave, you know, I think you're a great person. Fuck out of here.
Right. He's like, fuck off. Fuck.
He turns into Spidey,
I guess so.
And then finds and helps capture a few of the animals that were set free. Doc Ock throws a tantrum in the city because he's looking for Spider-Man, and Spider-Man does show up.
I get it, but damn, I thought I would be like, it's funny how you show up so fast, Peter. Spider-Man. Your teenage ass self.
After a really dope fight scene.
Oh yeah, no, that fight scene.
Or chase scene.
It was
a chase scene.
I thought it was fighting after a chase, but yeah.
Doc ends up getting trapped under a statue of a burning building that is collapsing. Spidey is unable to save him and barely makes it out himself. Once he does get out, he turns back into Peter and shows up and sees Doc Ock has been captured and taken out in handcuffs.
Oh, not drowned in the water?
And he's blaming the fire. I only lost because of the fire. No, you lost because you're Dr. Octopus.
Right. Doc Ock, bro. He's just a bad
Liz at that point tries to ask out Peter, and he's like, I already got a date. And you and this dummy Flash deserve to be with each other.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. You went with Flash?
At which point Liz was like, we kind of deserve it. We've been making fun of him for all this. Bitch, shut up. I did give this issue a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5, bro. Hey, yo.
For a couple reasons. First off, I'm really enjoying any time now, it seems, that Spidey and Doc Ock get together because they have epic
it's about
fucking
to be
battles.
Bro, and then he unmasked him. That's an automatic 5 out of 5. I was like, are we just going to sit here like, hey, what happened? Oh, my God.
But a big part now, I would have only given it a 4 out of 4. But again, the one thing Spider-Man, or 4 out of 5. But again, the one thing Spider-Man does so well is the interaction with all the supporting cast. And I love how, even with saving the people and everyone finally being like, yo, Peter, you're a cool dude, or Flash still being a dick.
Always.
Peter's just like, fuck you. Like when Liz is like, hey, Peter, I think you get the fuck away from me.
That's that Chad in him. Say, hey, yo, fuck you, bro. I want to get another one. I'm going to get Sue Storm. He gonna upgrade.
No, I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a IDGF, bitch. And middle finger up, like, hey, da. It's the motherfucker, dude.
It's BIDER.
You know, right. It's gonna say, Grand Theft Auto mission, like 1 or something, like, mission, got you, pass, got you.
Right.
Because I don't understand. People want to hate on it. And this Peter Parker is, like, saying, I am just done with people.
Yeah.
He's almost like Incredible Hulk type done. We're all of you bitches. I'm gonna be better than all of y'all's. Y'all's.
All right.
Anyway, but yeah, 5 out of 5 all day, bro.
Next issue is X-Men number 5. It is called Trapped, One X-Man.
That's not a good title. Anyway.
This is not at all. This was published May 1st, 1964, written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by Paul Reinman.
Reinman's back. Okay, cool.
Yeah. He actually shows up a couple times, I think.
Yes, he does. Yeah, yep.
Our heroes return home with an injured Professor X, and they put him...
He's knocked the fuck out.
And they put him to bed. As they contemplate a new leader, a car pulls up. It's Marvel Girl's parents, so they all rush to get in street clothes, and Jean Grey greets her parents.
Hey, that's some X-Men Evolution shit.
Right. The kids take their parents to show them the school. The Cyclops ends up getting trapped in the danger room, though, as it triggers, and it's supposed to be Beast's training course.
Which means it was, like, to the highest level.
As far as athletics, because he's basically an agile person.
Right, agile person.
Bounces around and things. He does end up getting through and gets out. Jean's parents end up leaving. We see Mastermind is looking for the school but cannot find it. So Magneto sends him back to base and Quicksilver picks him up. They have a little short back and forth because nobody likes each other.
Every time we get to Mastermind, it's a joke, bro.
Pretty much.
I'm watching you. Oh, what happened? Get the fuck back to base. You hey, abort mission. You have failed. Get back. I would have pip slapped him again. Like
the villains end up arriving back at Asteroid M.
I guess so.
And are approached by Magneto, which is cool because it's the first time we've seen Asteroid M in the comics.
In the comics, yeah.
Magneto's new plan is to use the Toad to trap the X-Men. Back at the mansion, everyone but Cyclops is watching a track meet. They see someone hopping over the competition but getting booed by the crowd. And they feel they have to go and help him. The X-Men show up, they rescue the mutant from the mob of people. As they escape onto a train, Beast recognizes him and pulls his mask off to reveal it's Toad.
Yep.
Toad hops off to escape. As the X-Men attack Toad, Magneto shows up, as does the rest of the Brotherhood. Magneto traps Angel, and the fight starts. Magneto then picks up Angel, runs off with him, and our heroes.
The title One X-Men.
Yeah. And our heroes give chase. However, the Brotherhood escapes, but they leave Toad behind.
Yep.
Magneto, up at Asteroid M, threatens to kill Angel if he doesn't talk, which makes Scarlet Witch mad because she's like, "We're not here to kill people." And
that is
I'm
interesting.
Like, you don't know Magneto.
Yeah, you don't know your
she doesn't know his father
yet. I still want to say
even though it gets retconned later that he's not actually her father. I don't know.
Right? And then they had like a love connection that was fucking weird. But you don't know Magneto. Magneto will throw his ass into a fucking sun. Like, goodbye. Like, goodbye, Angel. See you later, sir. Have a good day.
So he tries to torture Angel with loud noises, but Angel resists. Our heroes confront Toad, who was left behind, but he's mumbling that he's got to get back to Magneto. He's kind of lost his shit.
Right. Should have been Mastermind. That's cool. I'll take Toad. Fine.
He has a pod come to get him, and the X-Men climb onto the pod with him.
Of course.
Upon arrival to Asteroid M, they attack the Brotherhood, but one by one, Magneto is controlling the metal in the base to trap them.
Right.
Iceman and Beast end up freeing Cyclops and Jean, and Magneto is about to blow them out of the airlock, at which point Scarlet Witch short-circuits the panel, and Quicksilver steps in between Magneto and Scarlet Witch.
Right, because these two people are still trying to be pacifists. Yeah, they're not trying to kill people. They'll beat them up, but they're not trying to we're here to end their lives. Like, wait, what? Like, that's not our call, bro.
The X-Men bust in. Right. Cyclops goes at Magneto, but Quicksilver does step in the middle of them.
Yeah, of course, right.
And stops him.
Right, he stops. Right.
Meanwhile, the others try to break Angel out. As they free Angel, the Brotherhood begin to attack again. However, the asteroid is starting to fall apart, and Magneto tosses Cyclops to the outside of the wall.
Where I thought Cyclops was about to die. I said, this is it. We're about to lose Cyclops, guys.
And because about half the asteroid's about to blow up.
Right.
The X-Men end up taking off in an escape pod that was on the other side. As the little part of that asteroid blows up. X-Men return to the mansion to go and give a progress report, but Professor X then reveals he never lost his powers, and this was their final test. They all passed. Congrats, X-Men.
If he was such a powerful person, I would pimp slap the shit out of Charles Xavier. I want this pimp slap him. I want him to get the most Iketina backhand slap ever. Just he would have stopped it for me from doing it. He would have stopped it. So fuck.
I also thoroughly enjoyed this one. I gave this one a 5 out of 5.
I gave it like a 4 out of 5 because of Charles Xavier saying some bullshit. But that's personal great man right there.
I was gonna say that's where me and him differ. I love that he did that.
I'm like, you mother.
He basically
slap him.
He pretended to be worthless to make his team have to come together.
Scott was about to be blown out the.
That's just being an X-Men. They are always about to die.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
Always.
And the way how they drew Scott being blown out, I said, "Yo, Scott is about to just." And I knew Scott would come back, but if you was like back, when did that come out? 1964. If you're reading this, and remember, there's no X-Men show, there's no whatever, blah, 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 and you're like, "Yo, Scott's about to die." They just changed this man's name, and now he's gone. It's like this final test. I get visor blast, bro. Right. He's like, I can stop that. Why can't I just blast him? Just blast his ass.
All right.
Anyway, the next one, let's go.
Next up is Tales to Astonish, number 54, Story A. This is called No Place to Hide.
Right.
This was published April 1st, 1964, written by Stan Lee, penciled and inked by Don Heck.
Don Heck, yeah.
Giant Man and Wasp find out that the El Toro, a Red, he's a Russian leader, has won presidency in Santa Rica.
Right.
And at which point Giant Man and Wasp are called by Washington to come and have a meeting. They want to go to Santa Rica and investigate because they believe El Toro cheated to win the election.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Upon arrival, Wasp is captured.
Of course.
But not before she tosses a growth pill to Hank. And actually, she did call him Hank in this.
Yeah, I got that.
But she's going back and forth between calling him Hank and Henry. So I think it's just one of those things where Hank is just a short name for Henry. So she just kind of jumps back and forth.
I am thinking that, yeah, because I haven't heard Hank. I'm like, oh, so it is Hank, but no, it's Henry. Like, okay, that's what I'm thinking. Okay,
right. So his real name is Henry.
Right.
But as a nickname, everybody just calls him Hank.
Right. Like a middle initial thing going on. Right. Or a nickname. Right.
He grows, but is blindsided by El Toro. El Toro basically knocks him out for a few minutes, but he ends up running off with Wasp, and they escape.
Of course.
Soldiers come back for Giant Man, and a long chase scene takes place where Giant Man can't get away because of how big he is. He just has nowhere to hide. He has no shrinking pills. He can't shrink back down.
Right.
He does finally get away and contacts the ants, and they find where Wasp is. They find out that Wasp is in the ship off of the coast. Giant Man finds her, gets inside, reaches inside, gets one of her things, shrinks them both. Some guards come in to investigate and leave to go tell El Toro that they are gone because they were actually ordered to kill Wasp.
Right. Yeah.
But what they don't know is Ant-Man and Wasp have hitched a ride on their outfits.
Exactly.
On arrival, he takes a pill, turns into Giant Man, quickly disposes of El Toro, hangs him from a flagpole, and Wasp shows the world that he rigged the election. So it's reversed. They hold a new election, and Washington is thankful.
I give it a 3 out of 5.
I actually gave it a 2.
Okay. Because it was boring.
It was. El Toro is a dumb hero.
Yeah, it was boring. Wow. Huh. You know
don't
what? Now
mean
getting
shit.
diving into these comics, like, you start really seeing, like, this was... It's like, hey, we're just going to throw an Ant-Man comic. Catch this shit. Like, okay.
I feel like the biggest problem with Ant-Man comics is they focus so much on them fighting the Russians.
Right.
Randomly.
They're just not fighting nobody else.
When was the last time they fought a real supervillain?
I mean, we had this conversation last week. We had
and
it
even
last
then,
week.
the Human Top is kind of a joke.
Right.
Which we'll find out later.
Right. Oh, shit. Yeah, we will. Fuck me. Yeah. But we had this conversation last week. Like, everybody, even Iron Man's fighting supernatural. It's like, these characters are not fighting superhero people. And it's like, I don't know what... Damn, it makes you wonder, like, what was going on at that time. I mean, I get, the Russian, I get it, but even with the Russians, like, they only had a few people, like, if Thor fought Russian, then he started fighting shit. Iron Man fought Russian, then he started fighting, almost all the characters fighting shit, even Fantastic Four fighting some shit, but then they came back and said, well, we're going to fight these characters now, but them, they're just, I mean, it was like a beetle in the next one. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Right. All right. Next up is Tales to Astonish number 54, story
oh, wait.
C.
No, that's not Strange Tales. Never mind. I thought it was
this is the C story.
The C story. Don't worry, I'll get hyped. Don't worry, we'll get there.
This is called Conquest.
Conquest, right? Well, I like that title. Let's go.
Now, this story was actually penciled by Larry Lieber, inked by S. Brodsky.
What type of name?
Jesus. We get a Wasp tale. Yeah. Wasp is babysitting and tells the child a bedtime story.
Yeah.
In a world far away lies a kingdom led by...
I thought the Star Wars theme was going to start playing. Like, oh, shit.
Led by Shan. Mm-hmm. And everything is great. Nothing is going wrong. He is running the perfect kingdom.
Yeah.
But that also means the people are no longer impressed with the things that he does that are good. So they plan... So he says, in order to make these people respect me for who I am again, we're actually going to invade a nearby planet. And they do.
Yep.
And they win. They win easily. They take over a planet called Andromeda. He returns home,
name.
And the crowd cheers his name. Everything is great.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But then, over time, they come to end up loathing him as king because since they went over and took over, now that it is under their rule, it is his responsibility to make sure that they rebuild, have food, and all this other stuff. But it's also causing the people in their already solid kingdom to now have to work more, pay more taxes in order to make up to get the other planet where it needs to be. Mm-hmm. And now the king is sad. Boo-hoo. Oh. 1 out of 5. Yeah, and again, because I can't rate it a 0 out of 5.
Yeah, I didn't...
Wasp, for the love of fucking everything...
Get squashed.
You hold
squashed, woman.
Stop reading stories. No one cares. You suck at it. Go away.
Like...
Be a hero. That's all I need from you.
That's all. I feel like, and I get it. Stan Lee, I will always praise Stan Lee forever until I die off this play. But I'm like, sometimes I wonder, Stan Lee, was you on drugs when you was making some of the one? And this is like the 8th story, bro, or is the 5th? I don't know. I lost count. It's always, it's not even fighting. At least Ray said he's fighting somebody. It's like, yo, we got Wasp just telling stories. What is happening? What the fuck is this?
Stupid shit. That's what happened.
This is stupid shit. Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
All right. Next up, Tales of Suspense, number 52. This is story A, and it's called The Crimson Dynamo Strikes Again.
Oh, fuck.
This was published April 10th, 1964, written by Stan Lee, penciled and inked both by Don Heck.
Great.
For those of you that are wondering why I'm constantly looking down at my phone, if you can even see my phone, I am on my website ranking these as on the website.
Yeah, he ranks them as he goes.
As I go.
Yeah. Yay, the Dynamo dudes.
I mean,
back.
I already know what they're going to be. I
Right.
write them down here, but I also rank them on the site because it also helps me keep place of where the fuck we're at.
Yeah, it does work.
It's a pretty neat site. All right.
When you told me this title of the Crimson Dynamo, I said, "Oh, didn't they beat this dude to shit?"
Well, he works for Tony.
Oh, that's right. Forgot he works for this son of a bitch. God
All right.
damn it.
So, Vanko is testing a new laser light on his suit, but before it evaporates him, Tony moves him to safety and says it's not worth risking his life over. Across the world, Russian leader calls for Black Widow and Boris to tell them that their targets are Tony and
I
Vanko.
said, "Hey, there's Black Widow."
Yeah,
Hey,
we get Black Widow and Boris. I don't know who the fuck Boris is.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck that is. See, that's some bullshit. We should listen to who Boris is, man. He got the most Russian Boris name ever.
A week later, Natasha gets Tony to take her out, and she actually says her name's Natasha, which was cool.
Right.
Gets Tony to take her out on a date while her brother tours the labs. Boris then captures Vanko with a paralyzing gun that Vanko made a long time ago for the Russians. Boris then takes Vanko back to the Russian sub, returns, and puts on the Crimson Dynamo suit. He destroys parts of the lab. Happy calls Tony. Iron Man is on the scene. Inside, Iron Man thinks Crimson Dynamo is Vanko and doesn't know that Crimson Dynamo has done the destruction. He goes to help get the machine out, but when he does, Boris uses the little electric ability that the suit has to knock out Tony Stark. Back on the sub, the dummies have left Iron Man alone in a room without chaining him up.
Exactly. Hey, yo, the dummies, not not Hitchman. Hitchman at least would have tied him up now. The dummies.
The dummies.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
He recharges his suit.
Of course.
Finds Vanko tied up and realizes that it must be Boris inside the outfit.
Right.
Iron Man gets him out. They fly back to Tony's lab and surprise Boris. At which point, the fight begins. Widow distracts Iron Man, and at that point, Iron Man realizes that Widow is working.
And I like this. I like this awareness though, because even though he's whatever, that's awareness. He's like, "Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You're working with this bitch. All right, I got you. I'm gonna blast you too. You're gonna get this photon to the head."
That's it. Vanko grabs the laser gun.
Right.
Runs past everyone, grabs the laser gun, points it at Boris.
Of course.
But Crimson's like, "You're fooling. You know if you use that gun, it's going to explode and we're both going to die." But Vanko surprises us and says, "You know what?
I don't care.
These guys have done nothing but show me love and help me get through these things. For freedom,
yeah,
I'm willing to I'm willing to sacrifice myself." Right. He shoots Boris. Boris dies. The thing blows up. Vanko dies.
Yeah, that's it.
Black Widow runs out during all the commotion.
She said, "I gotta be an Avenger. Y'all some fucking stupid people."
And we see her say that she can't return back to Russia because if she returns to Russia with a failed mission, she's going to be killed.
She's dead.
So she now has to find a way to kill Tony before she returns. And she's like, "And I'll get you next time on Dragon Balls." Tales of Suspense.
Next time on Dragon... Yo, this is happening. Well, we finally happened. Ivanko has died. And now Boris has died. Will Black Widow get revenge? I feel like she should have been more like... And I would have been like... Had her crying moments just like... And then just says like... You die, Iron Man, next time I see you. And then she does one of them suicide drops. Like, yeah. But I know it's 60 and whatever. I was like... She just do a suicide drop and said... Well... You dying, Iron Man.
I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
I thought it was pretty decent. I loved Vanko sacrificing himself.
That's crazy.
So it was cool that happened.
And Black Widow dips out.
Black Widow dips out. And they actually said next issue we'll see her back again.
Of course.
So she's going to be in the next issue of Tales of Suspense. Unfortunately, we're not reading that this week.
Right.
Why are we not reading that? Well, we'll get there. Next up is Tales of Suspense number 52, Story C, called The Failure. This was penciled by Larry Lieber, inked by Paul Ryan.
You know what I thought this was before reading into it? I thought this was like the part 3 story. I mean, not with Black Widow, but just the fact that maybe Iron Man could have did something to prevent Crimson Dynamo from not dying. Right. But we didn't get that, so I guess we just said, fuck it.
So, we get a story from The Watcher.
Of course.
And in this one, in the future, there is no war. People strive to make more money, to have more things than their neighbors. That's all anyone cares about. Everyone except for Kent Bradley, who just wants to study art and help people. Oh, my. He's shunned by his own family, and many years later, as a full-blown adult, he's walking with the love of his life, Val, and people make fun of them. Then, a spaceship scours the continents, and everyone gets scared because nobody has weapons to defend themselves. The aliens beam down and end up saying that they're going to take Kent with them. However, his girlfriend is like, no, I'm going to come with you. And he's like, no, stay back. There's no reason in which risking your life. And she's like, no, wherever you go, I go. If you die, I'm going to die with you.
And then the aliens zaps both and they turn to mush.
That would have been a better story. So
they just turn to mush. They little itty bitty little splecks. Like, okay, let's go home, guys.
They take the two of them with them,
of
and
course.
then once they get to space, they then tell them that they are going to appoint this couple as king and queen of their empire because after their ruler had died, their computers scoured the internet and found the two most loving people, or the most loving person. She just happened to follow along with him. And they are now
can you imagine, bro?
They are now rulers of the most dominant empire in the galaxy.
Can you imagine, bro? Aliens come down. Hey, fuck you. Like, girl, where you going, girlfriend? I am leaving. That's aliens coming down.
I gave it a 2.
1. Solid 1.
I thought it was at least worth the read, although
dang,
I could have done without it.
Because the last watcher, I gave like a 3 out of 5, but I like the entertainment of the alien stuff. But this is the one I didn't care. Like, I didn't care. Damn! Wow! I feel like if Stan Lee tried to talk about his life in this, like they didn't think I would be a comic book person, but I am a comic book writer, so now I'm the king and powerful of comics now. Like, I feel like he's talking about his life right now. It's like they were shunning me because I was the kid that nobody didn't like. Then I found a planet that everybody liked me on. I'm like, so it's starting to get a little bit too realistic now. Like,
it's just getting repetitive. They're doing the same story.
Yeah, same story. But I'm just saying. I feel like is he talking about himself? I mean, I feel like he puts some of his life into the story somehow. It's like. Because I remember reading the biography of Stan Lee, like they didn't think he was able to become a comic book writer.
Right.
So it's just kind of interesting reading this, and I'm like, you're putting some life stories in this bitch, bro. Kind of too close to home, man. Is there something you want to say that the parents didn't believe in you, or something like that? I mean, yeah. But anyway, I gave it a 1. I didn't care for it, but it's fine.
All right, next up, Tales to
That's at the Watcher School.
Right. Tales to Astonish, number 55, Story A, On the Trail of the Human Top. Published May 1st, 1964, written by Stan Lee, penciled and inked by Dick
Ayers. Like a fucking Beyblade. Like a Beyblade is back. The Beyblade is back. Let's go.
Giant Man and Wasp are showing off newsreel pics of the Human Top to their fan club, pretending to be a model citizen, though Top escapes jail. And I'm about tired of this trope.
He escaped jail
All these villains are like, yeah, I pretend to be a model citizen, and
that's
then
when the third time we have seen that so far.
When they aren't paying attention, I'm just gonna dip the fuck out.
I'm gonna dip the fuck out. That's some wizard man, pay spot Pete shit.
Once he gets out, he robs a bank.
Of course, and then I'm getting tired of that shit there too.
No, robbing a bank will always be normal in comics.
I forgot that is normal.
That's a villain thing. People want money. That's the best place to rob if you're gonna get money.
I do get a little bit, but it gets repetitive. It's like, bro, y'all know y'all about to get shot. Right. Freeze, you villain motherfucker! I'm gonna shoot your ass.
Giant Man and Wasp see this happening on the news.
Of course.
So our heroes take off and they're on the way. However,
spring into action.
They get there way too late. Top has the money and is gone. Giant Man and Wasp decide to walk home, and the Human Top spots them and decides to follow them back.
That would have been a good story if Human Torch did spot him. Like, right. hey, what's up?
Once home, Hank gives her, honestly, a really dope compliment. He's like, "You're smart, you're intelligent, you're beautiful, you're fantastic."
No pun intended.
And she is actually shocked because I don't think he's complimented her at all up to this point.
Well, actually, he's been ignoring her.
Right.
Be blunt, he's been ignoring her.
At that point, the Top spins in and steals his belt. He takes a growth pill and then basically uses his wind-creating abilities as a giant Human Top to blow Hank into the nearby closet, and then he locks it.
Yep.
At which point he turns his attention to Janet. She shrinks, but he traps her in a jar.
That's funny as shit. I'm sorry.
He then leaves with her. Hank calls on his aunts. At which point he has them bring him a capsule from his spare belt.
Of course he has a spare one. Come on now.
And also heroes should, to be honest.
Right. And sometimes they never do.
And he shrinks, so he's on his way.
Which we have seen Ant-Man. It's been a while. I mean, I know we see Ant-Man last, but it's been a while since because like I said, I think we talked about that too. He doesn't use Ant-Man a lot. He always uses the Giant Man. So that's pretty cool. We actually see Ant-Man come back in a while. So that's pretty cool.
Where was I? Okay. Ant-Man finds Top and then grows to be as tall as the Human Top.
Of course.
Wasp frees herself as termites start to eat the wood in the ceiling in the room she's being held in. Ant-Man then leads the Human Top on a chase. Once close, Human Top goes to spin on his head to create a tornado, which does send Giant Man on this weird, ridiculous bounce around town as he bounces off of fucking electric wires and
like
shit.
Rampage.
It's
Hey, he like Rampage.
fucking weird.
You got the high score, sir.
However, it does also cause Human Top to fall through the roof and knock himself out.
Yep.
At which point, Jan ends up shrinking him back to normal, and Giant Man puts him back in jail. Now, here's the thing. I did give this a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
It wasn't absolutely terrible, but it wasn't really interesting either.
It brought nothing to the table.
I feel like the only thing that they did was they basically showed that they have this...
they took the belt.
They have this... well, aside from having a spare belt, they have this like flagpole that's outside on the building, but it has like this high tension thing that allows him to jump out of the window,
right,
and grab onto it and land on the ground without hurting himself or destroying property.
Which I was completely fucking shocked. I was like, oh, I thought property was gonna get destroyed. The way how he flung him, I was like, oh, there's gonna be some fucking casualties and shit, bro. This is like a human ball coming toward you, like a giant ass ball. But it didn't, so that was good. Good job.
But yeah, so that was pretty much it, and on to the next one. Tales to Astonish.
Yes. What's good? Yes. Tales to Astonish. Oh wait, that's not Stray's Tale. I'm sorry.
Story B. This is called The Gypsy Secret. This was penciled by Larry Lieber and inked by G. Bell. We get a wasp tale.
Oh no!
So, Wasp is mad.
I got too hyped for this.
He really did. Wasp is mad at Henry, so she decides to tell him a warning tale.
I'm finna go. Like, where you going? I gotta go.
Or else, like, I just made myself look dumb as hell.
Okay.
All right.
You
Gorko.
think I won't get hyped when we get to Stranger Tales? You think I won't? I'm gonna replay it too.
Gorko, a gypsy.
What the fuck? The name is that shit.
A male gypsy at that, by the way. I thought it was a female.
I thought it was too.
And they kept saying him. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's a male gypsy. You don't really hear about male gypsies.
We're so canceled, bro. I thought that was a male.
You shouldn't gender some fuck you.
I thought it was a female. But that name, I was like, that's a female. And like, oh my god, it's a male. Damn, got me.
Gorko, a gypsy, is traveling to find something. He has the power of alchemy and can turn any metal into gold.
Oh shit, man.
However, he only makes just enough gold to get by until he finds what exactly he's looking for. He comes upon a castle and needs help getting his wagon unstuck, but the owner wants to know how to make gold. The gypsy refuses to tell him.
You're right.
At which point, the guy then goes to lock the gypsy up, and the gypsy finally agrees to take the guy to his wagon to show him the formula. He's like, I don't have it memorized, I have it written down.
I feel like I would have just turned the whole bars into gold and just leave.
Well, upon arrival, metal bars come down around the guy, and they take off in a spaceship that flies into outer space.
Hey.
Out of this, that apparently has been stashed away inside this carriage.
Carriage, right.
Turns out the gypsy was actually an alien who was searching for other planetary life for their planet's zoo. And he wanted to find, but he didn't want to just take with any human. He wanted to find at least one human that no one would miss. And he found him.
Yeah, well, hey, you gotta laugh at that. That's kind of funny.
And now...
Oh my god, I'm not leaving. That's a Twilight Zone shit.
And so that's how the story ends. And then Wasp is like, so you shouldn't take things for granted. And he's like, oh, I got work to do. He's like, you need to leave my lab. And she looks at him. She's like, what are you talking about? He's like, because he's like, well, no, he says,
he said, I got it.
No, the way he starts it off, he's like, you know what? I'm canceling the thing I was working on. And she's like, oh, good. Are we going to go out on a date? He's like, no, get out of my lab. He's like, now I got to figure out how to turn metal into gold.
But peep game, how you gonna go that and how you gonna go from the last one? You gave her all these damn compliments, and you said, you know what, bitch, get the fuck out of my office. What the fuck?
I gave the story a 3.
I almost gave it a 4 on it, to be honest, because the ending gets me. Bro.
The main reason I gave it, there were 2 reasons I gave it a 3.
Okay, what was 2?
First off, I think it's an overall dumb story, but
it was a dumb story.
I did love the absolute savagery that was the gypsy.
Yeah,
who was like, nah, I was just looking for someone that no one would give a fuck about. And you're it, motherfucker. Right. Let's go.
It reminds me of the Twilight Zone where they took him on the planet, and then they said it was like a human zoo, and it literally said human zoo. It said, like, bitch, you was not leaving.
Right.
On that planet. It was like they were giving him so much praise, and then at the end it said human zoo. He said, "Now, children, this is what a human looks like on Earth." Like, damn.
And then the absolute savagery.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's
coming from Hank.
That's the second time, bro. Because remember,
he's like, "Get the fuck out my lab! I got gold to make."
Remember the second time he was not paying attention to the story. He's like, "Huh? Oh, you said you were talking to me?" No fucks given. There's no fucks given. And then it just makes me laugh because remember the last issue, he was you're smart, you're funny, and then it's like, what? I guess that went out the window. Literally, right. Like that's Hank. That's good old Hank.
All right. Next up, Strange Tales.
Yes, yes, yes.
Ralph loves to get his fake excitement for this dumbass
Let's
comic.
Let's go.
This is story A. This is called The Torch Meets the Iceman.
Yeah, whatever.
This was published May 1st, 1964, written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by Dick Ayers.
Thank God it wasn't published on my birthday. I would have killed somebody like May 4th. What the like on my birthday, too. Like, what that?
All right. Fantastic Four are all talking about wanting to meet the X-Men. Torch is off to be on a cruise with Doris, however, and apparently...
Why? This would have been a badass, like, Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four meets X-Men.
I think we'll still get that. But
I mean,
for
we
now...
still get that, but it's like, for now, it's like, why?
Because it's a Strange Tales comic. Now... Torch...
That's every time I say, why? It's Strange Tales, bro. Let's go with it.
Torch is off to be on a cruise with Doris, which actually, this was one of the few things I liked. He was actually going out on a date. And I'm just...
Hey, why you gotta be so sarcastic? This few times.
Now,
like,
apparently,
he shit about Doris.
Apparently, though, so Iceman's getting bored at home, and everyone goes out to do things. He's like, he wanted to go out with Jean, and he's like, and he talks to Professor X, and he's like, Professor X, man, every time I go to ask Jean if she wants to go out on a date, she says that, you know, she's already got a date with one of the other X-Men, and I always miss out. At which point, I wanted Professor X to look over at Bob and go, first off, you're gay. You don't know you're gay, but you're gay. And here's the thing.
He read his mind.
Because Bobby does become one of the first gay superheroes in Marvel.
In real life, he's the first gay super, one of the first ones that come out. Yep. But that's funny, though.
But obviously that didn't happen.
No, not right now. It's a Strange Tales. That's why.
But he's like, well, just go out and do something fun on your own.
Oh,
and he's like, here, why don't you go on this cruise?
So, we already know where this is going. We knew this is like Spider-Man all over again. Now it's Iceman doing it.
All right.
It's great.
So, he goes to the cruise.
Oh, yeah. He's there.
But he's running late, so he has to use his powers to, like, jump onto the ship. He gets there, turns back into himself as a human, as opposed to being an ice-cold bitch. And then...
So now he's a human ice-cold bitch.
Bobby ends up asking Doris out on a date, not knowing she's there with somebody. At which point, she declines.
Yeah.
And Bobby's like, well, why not? And she's like, my boyfriend's the Human Torch, and he actually thinks to himself, oh, you're just lying. At which point, Human Torch sparks up a fire. He's like, hey, how's it going? And so Bobby's like, oh shit, my bad. I'm gonna go away now. Because he wasn't trying to like break up a relationship.
I know he wasn't trying to. Well, because here's the thing. He already took an L from Chad Spider-Man. He can't take an L from Iceman out too. He's like, my bad. I'll walk away. That's some good writing. I was like, and then they fight. And Human Torch just gets buried with ice.
Actually, Human Torch would stomp Iceman.
Yeah, he would. Unfortunately, fuck it, he would. It's fucked up, but he would. Just give him powers for once. It's a Strange Tale. Give him that power just for one time.
But yeah, Bobby apologizes, but he kind of storms off upset.
Yeah, because he wanted to go. He wanted to talk to Doris.
At which point, by the way, the rest of this episode, Iceman's trying to impress Doris. He's like, "What does Human Torch have that I don't?"
And instead of finding another female on a damn ship, it's like I just want Doris. Like, what type of Namor shit is that?
Now, just then though, their ship gets stormed by the Barracuda is the guy's name, and he's a pirate.
Yeah,
and it's his whole pirated people.
You stood in my booty.
At which point, I wrote wrong ship, jackasses. So,
that's what you said.
Johnny starts...
It's the wrong ship, you jackass.
Johnny starts chucking fireballs.
Oh, yeah,
at which point, Johnny and Bobby both duck out, become the heroes that they are.
Oh, my God.
And through some crazy shit, Iceman ends up getting frozen. Torch ends up in the water. The ship's on fire. Iceman gets out of his little ordeal.
Well, of course.
He puts out the fire, and eventually the torch dries off enough to flame back on.
Hey,
and this is where I have a problem.
I thought he drowned.
Marvel, I need you to be consistent, okay? So to do shit where it's like one issue, he's like able to flame on while in water.
While in water. We saw it.
But now that he gets in water, he
I can't
climbs
do
out.
it.
He can't flame on immediately. Like, he's got to climb up to the tallest smokestack to fucking dry himself. Like, make yourself consistent.
This is so stupid, but it works. I got you. No, I can flame on, right? No, you can't, bitch. You suck.
So he dries himself off. He flames back on.
I guess so.
They beat up all the nobodies in the group.
Yeah,
Barracuda kidnaps Doris as a hostage. He
goes off with Doris, and like they wait.
Yeah,
It's way too early.
At which point he runs into some icebergs because Titanic. And at which point, Iceman basically stops him in his place. Human Torch comes in, rescues his girl, leaves fucking Barracuda stranded.
And that's so sad that they like, we don't give a damn about this.
Goes and calls the cops.
Oh yeah, I thought hey
You
bro,
fucking snitch. Just take him to the jail.
just take him to
You could
jail.
fly. You'd get it done in 10 minutes. Here's an asshole that tried to just rob us and then fly back.
He got Titanic, so here you go. Like, no, we're gonna leave him stranded in the ice cold water. It's gonna freeze up.
Iceman walks off back to the mansion because he's creating little ice steps in the water for him to be able to walk on, whatever. But Johnny and Doris do enjoy the rest of their evening together, which is nice. Now, here's the thing. I gave this 3 out of 5.
1.
He's like terrible.
Okay, 2. I give it 2.
He's like, it's terrible.
It really is, bro. It really is.
I gave it a 3 out of 5. Here's the thing. This is the first time we've had a crossover that I did not enjoy.
Give a damn about.
I won't say that I did not enjoy. I enjoyed it enough to give it a 3.
Right, you gotta give it 3 at least.
I just...
No one cares. Barracudas.
They're so opposite of each other.
Right.
And I did like this whole idea of him like really being attracted to Doris. But you didn't have that go-getter mentality.
No.
Not
like Spider-Man. So I had to go get him.
Which is why Spider-Man did this better than you.
Right.
Unfortunately.
That's why I think I get that.
Spider-Man went there with the intention just to piss Torch off. He didn't even want the girl. He was like, yo, baby, you should just come with me because Torch sucks.
And then you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna dump her ass like a chair. Hey, yo, get the fuck out of here, Doris. Like, damn, you didn't want my... No, I didn't want your ass.
But
you got a nice ass, but I don't want your ass.
I gave it a 3 out of 5.
I gave it 2. I'll give it 2 just for you. I'll give it 2. Because I said a 1. Because it is.
Army
booty. I need Doris's booty.
All right. The next and final story of our episode is Strange Tales issue 120 story B.
Go.
This was called The House of Shadows. May 1st, 1964 again. Also written by Stan Lee. But this was also penciled and inked by Steve Ditko.
Yep.
We're at a TV station. Well, we're not at a TV station. A TV station is investigating a haunted house, and Strange shows up to keep an eye on things because he feels like there's something off about this house. He tries to get in. Now, the guy walks into the house, the news reporter who is reporting everything that's going on from the inside. No camera crew's going with him. He's just talking through a mic that's connected to things.
Which that is a long mic, damn.
Right? And Strange is trying to use his ethereal form to get into the house, but he can't get into the house that way.
Right.
So he uses the Eye of Agamotto to see through the walls.
Right.
In the process of all this, though, the reporter walks through, and something scares the shit out of him. He starts seeing like a floating jar. Mist is filling up the house,
like a ghost, pretty much. Right.
And he's just freaking the fuck out.
Freaking the fuck out. Ooh, I'm moving your mic. Like, okay, I'm freaked out here.
But anybody that is actually there or watching this broadcast at home, no one believes this is real. They're like, whatever, ghosts don't exist. You're stupid. This is a dumb thing. Why are we doing this?
Because you don't have a camera in there, so we can't see it.
Strange tries to walk through the crowd to get to the house, but everybody's like, I'm not moving. So he
dicks, actually.
He force pushes everyone out the fucking way.
That was the most savage thing. He said, "Get the fuck back! Like, get back, bro!" Oh God.
He gets inside, but he realizes the reporter is not there.
No.
And he, too, starts to see the same things happening. But he knows what this is. The mist try and trap Strange into, like, a mist cage.
Right.
And he uses his magic to break out. He's like, nah, get the fuck out.
Right.
At which point,
blames it on Moto.
Everyone sees... everyone sees the reporter leave the house.
Right.
But Strange is still inside. And Strange tells the house, your secret is safe with me. Nobody's gonna know that you are actually a dimensional being taking place as a house here.
Because
that's what it is.
Being.
The house is a living house.
It's alive.
It's a person basically, except it's a dimensional person.
Ain't that weird? That's so weird.
The house thanks him.
Right.
He walks out of the house and makes it and casts a spell to make it go away. While he's casting the spell, the house is like, "What are you doing? I thought we were cool." And he's like, "Look, you pose a threat to humans. It is my job to protect humanity.
Right.
Be gone, bitch."
Right.
He
didn't destroy you.
Right.
He just sent you away.
He makes the house disappear, sends it back to his dimension.
Right.
And then he seals it with his spell so that the house cannot come back. And most people think it's a trick. Regardless, though, Strange leaves. He's like, "You don't have to believe me. I know what happened. Deuces."
I give this a 3 out of 5.
I gave it a 3 as well.
It was actually better than, of course, everything's better than the Human Torch, but this was intriguing. Like, an entity being that was a house. I never saw that coming. I'm thinking maybe like it's a real ghost. I mean, I guess I really look at it as a human standpoint.
I enjoyed it. I will be excited to see where Strange continues to go.
It's not Mordo, so I'm happy.
I was mostly thrilled that it was not Mordo.
Thank fucking God.
I'm sure he'll be back next time.
Oh, he'll be back. Don't worry. He'll be back, like, with the house this time. It's going to be a 2-way street. Like, hey, I brought him back, too.
Right. Bam! Now, next week, when we go to do this, we are going to be covering the next issue of Spider-Man, which is the first time he runs into Mysterio.
Hey.
I have read that issue, so I know already what to expect there.
Oh, cool.
We will then get Tales of Suspense, which is going to be Black Widow coming back to fight Iron Man. We'll get a secondary story with that no one cares about.
Well, of course.
We will then get Tales to Astonish number 56, which is going to be the Magician coming back.
I haven't seen the Magician. He got blinded by the Human Torch.
Right. So, last time we saw the Magician, he was fighting the Human Torch. This time he's going to be going against Giant Man, Ant-Man, and Wasp.
I'm going to see if you don't have no eyesight, but sure. Fuck it. Let's go.
That is what? 1, 2, that's 3 stories.
Fourth one.
So Amazing Tales, Tales of Suspense, Tales to Astonish. The next one will be Fantastic Four number 25.
Damn, we did 25 issues so far? Wow.
And this is the coming back of the Incredible Hulk. So Hulk and Thing are going to be fighting.
Okay, so it's not that Hulk doesn't have his issue. He's just sprinkled everywhere like Avengers. And that's fine. I mean, that's what you want to do. I mean, I guess so.
And then we'll be reading Fantastic Four issue number 26, which is a continuation.
Oh, yeah, it's like a part 2
of this. However, the Avengers come to help.
Yeah, well, because they've been looking, they've been looking for the Thing or the Hulk. They've been looking for Hulk for like a minute since he left after episode 3 or issue 3.
And then the last issue we will be reading is Avengers number 5. Where the Avengers will be taking on what are called Lava Men.
Damn, I thought it was gonna be taking on the Hulk. I swear, I thought it was gonna be like a 3-way part series.
Well, in the picture for the cover of this issue, it looks like the Hulk's with them. So it looks like the Hulk will be teaming back up with them after their.
Because I thought it was gonna be like, it's like one of those crossovers, but it spawns into other TV shows. It's like this is part 1 crossover. So this is part 2, part 3.
I'm excited. The more Fantastic Four they feed us, the more excited I'm going to be. Yeah. Because I know we're getting somewhat close to Galactus, and I'm super excited for that story.
That's what they've been hinting on. I mean, even Impossible Man made a joke. I hope your planet gets eaten.
It'll be 2 weeks before we get to a week that I'm super excited for again. But, like I said, we've got some really good issues this week.
Yes, we do.
I'm excited that we are skipping at least 1 week of Johnny Storm stories.
Because you know what? If he had said Stranger's Tales, he would have got this. Yeah!
He could fuck all the way off, but unfortunately, not next week, but the week after.
Oh, yeah,
it looks
2
like,
weeks.
It looks like we've got...
How many? 3?
2 issues.
Yeah, we get 2 issues of some bullshit!
But that's also mixed in with another Fantastic Four and Avengers. So
that's fine. It's like, at least we get some good from that shit.
We at least get some good next week. So yeah, I'm excited for the stories that we're going to be reading. I am going to go ahead and take a picture of these so that I already have them to send to you.
Right, to me. Since I didn't ask this time, I just remembered. Since I
didn't send them last week until Wednesday.
Right.
I There's the first one.
Like, he sent me the list. I mean, besides him, like, whatever, last week, he sent me the list, and I was like, well, I just remembered that, it was, Tales to Suspense and Tales to Astonish and all that, so I knew it was like Ant-Man stories and whatnot, so it wasn't like we were too far off.
Right. So. But yeah, that's next week.
So we get the Avengers coming back. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, Fantastic Four doing Fantastic Four shit. That's just... I like how, this is why I'm kind of happy with the comics of Marvel compared to DC, because, if it was DC, it would just be like, well, Superman can come and save the day. Because he can hear it. He can hear that shit going down.
No, I'm more excited over the crossovers. The crossovers... And again, the Human Torch Iceman crossover...
It's still a crossover.
It was okay.
I still fucks with it a little bit.
I was semi excited for it for a little bit. Kind of got old quick because one of the things that I love about Spider-Man and Human Torch's crossovers are they dislike each other, but they respect each other.
Right.
So when they cross over, there's some bickering, but they also both understand when shit goes down, they can both be there.
And we did see a little bit of that with the Human Torch and Iceman, because when shit went, even though these are randos.
But in this one, they didn't even have any beef with each other. No. They were, whenever Bobby became Iceman and Torch became Torch,
right?
They helped each other, and they knew, like Iceman, they had like just a small moment where Human Torch had fucked up and unfroze the guns that Iceman had just frozen by accident.
Right.
But then they started working together.
Right. And that's what I like about that.
Which was cool, but I love the dynamic of Spider-Man and Human Torch more, because they're like, what, fuck you, we'll fight together, but fuck you.
Right. We'll fight each other, but right now we're gonna fight this, but then I'm gonna come back and fight you again for round 5. Like, damn, round 5?
Right. But yeah, so it was a pretty decent week overall. I could do with way less Giant Man personally.
Yeah, I'm getting.
But I also feel like we're getting close to the end of the Giant Man exclusive comics in terms of being in Tales to Astonish.
So it should be like what with Thor. It should be like when you read that Thor, it was like Thor won something. It's like that's actually Thor's issue that coming to play.
One of the reasons I'll be excited once we get away from these Tales to Astonish, Tales of whatever, Strange Tales, this and that, all this dumb shit. One of the reasons I will be excited to finally get away from all this when we do, and it's still going to be a while. We still got a few months of this shit.
Yeah, no, we still got months. Yeah. Same year, a few months. Yeah.
But one of the reasons I'm excited to get through this is I want to get out of the 2-story per comic format.
Because I think that's what they were doing. They're like, I feel like it's like with these stories. It's like you got the main story, what they were doing. Then it's like you got that. We're gonna tell you a story, like a storyteller. It's like because then nobody's gonna give a shit about that B story. Right. So it's like we're gonna get this A story. Then it's like okay, I'm done with the comic now, Mom. Like. Who fucking cares about Wasp reading a story about we're the top 2 king and queens of dominance? Like we don't give a shit. Yeah. Go kick a wall. Kick a building.
But yeah, those are the things coming next week. As you will notice, we didn't even have a trivia. I'm done with the trivia for now too.
Okay.
Until we get to a point where again people want the thing.
Right.
If people go through the comments and start requesting at least something extra to be thrown in at that point. It has to be enough people. It's just I've got way too much shit to worry about. Right. I've got this podcast that we run. I've got me and Hellcat that we have our reaction channel.
You got the Halloween one you want to try to bring up.
We have our reaction. We have our reaction channel that just hit 10,000 subs.
That's great.
And we're doing 3 videos a day for that.
Right.
And then her and I are wanting to start up a horror-based channel, which we know what our first video is going to be. I'm currently working on doing the research for that. And that one is going to be like a video a month or a video every few weeks. Whenever I just get them done, I'll put them out. Unless people start to really flock towards the horror thing. If people start putting more interest in that, we'll probably cut back on the reactions and focus more. We might do like a reaction a day.
Because you really want to do that. I mean, I know you.
That's where my real passion is.
What's real passion is do the horror. I mean, look at what he's wearing on the hat. Number on the street. There you go.
I do love music. Do not get me wrong. Everybody loves music,
right,
but
of course,
we don't. The thing about music, and this is my biggest complaint with being a reactor, and this is just for anybody to get an inside thing. So as a reactor, you do reactions to a bunch of different artists. people will come in and look for reactions for specific artists. Like they're like, hey, I want to see what all Eminem reactions this person or that channel has.
Right.
I want to see all of the reactions for this specific artist over on this channel. And just to give you guys a prime example, I love our Indian community. They come and show out every time we do an Indian reaction. But we only do those on the weekends. So our weekend videos, we get 14, 15, 1,600 views plus on each Indian reaction that we do on the weekend. But the reaction that we do to normal American music, whether it be hip-hop, rock, whatever, we'll typically only get 20 to 25 views. Sometimes we'll do an artist that people aren't used to us doing, and that will get like... I think we did a reaction to somebody earlier this week that got like 600 views.
Right.
Which was cool. No complaints there. But that happens very few and far in between in our American reactions. We can't just do Indian reactions. That's going to completely alienate over half of our fan base.
And yeah, you'll lose them. I don't know if you'll lose them. Well, will you lose them?
We couldn't. I don't know. It just depends on how much people like us. So we still got to keep that balance. Now, again though, we're at 10,000 subs, averaging 20 to 30 views per video. That doesn't make sense. Most channels,
and you talked
most
about
channels that have 10,000 subs are getting 200, 300 views. Now, one thing I can guarantee you guys is we didn't pay to have somebody come watch that channel and sub with a bunch of fake accounts or no shit like that. It took us 2.5 years to get to almost 3 years. 3 years total from when I started.
I stalked them. I went to his old videos where he even had that long ass hair.
3 years total to get to the point that we're at now, and we're still only getting like 20, sometimes 30.
It's kind of weird, man.
Views, and it's like we love everyone that does support us, but we hate we try to fill our reactions so much with humor that people want to come and just watch us be jackasses. That's what we do. Even if you may not like the artist that we're reacting to, at least you know you're going to get us just being absolutely dumb.
You're just going to get entertainment from it.
Right. Where that differs with horror content, though, we want to do the horror content because horror fans just love horror.
Right.
Whether it's a good movie, a bad movie, a mediocre movie, horror fans watch it.
Right.
And they might have a strong opinion one way or the other, but they definitely want to know what your feelings are on every goddamn horror thing that you have an interest in. And even if it's a disagreement, and this is the one thing too, I actually haven't seen a whole lot of people arguing within the horror community. You look at music community, music fandoms are ridiculous. Oh, Eminem's the best artist ever. Oh no, Eminem sucks. He doesn't even belong in rap. Blah blah blah. They go back and forth.
The Marvel community.
And you look at the Marvel community. You got fans that are all over the place talking about you're doing this wrong, that wrong, that wrong. I don't like that you're doing this with the story. I don't like this and like that.
I'm gonna boycott.
I'm boycotting everything that you do. Right. Now the horror community, they're also out loud and outspoken.
Yeah, you get those, but they're not as big as it is with. Or not big, but they're not as
But they don't gatekeep as much.
Right. Because at the end of the day, y'all like horror. Like
they'll be like, what it is. They'll be like, yes, I hated the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Right. I watched it once. The kills were cool. I'll never watch it again. And they're done.
Right.
They move on.
Right.
They don't. You don't get into these huge arguments. And when people try to explain to you why they like something horror, they almost do it in a respectful way. They're like, I get that you don't like it. Here's why I did like it. Right. I'm sorry that you didn't like it. Right. I hope you find some more enjoyment somewhere else in another horror movie somewhere. Unless it's me and Ralph, at which point I yell at him.
He always yells at me. He's like, "What's wrong with this horror movie?" I don't like how what's wrong with this.
My complaint with, and this is just me. It's not just you. I hate when people do this. I hate when people jump off a bridge and say this movie sucked.
Right. Because
as long as there is a fan base, something does not suck.
Right.
You may not like it, at which point I say, hey, this isn't for me. But, and it's not even just with you, I jump on people's asses for this in the music industry, I jump on people's asses for this in comics. And
you be arguing people with comics too,
and things like that. I try to tell people, look, it may not be for you, but as long as there is a group of people somewhere that love this stuff, it doesn't suck.
And for the record, I don't go in here reading I don't read the reviews until after I watch the movie, so I get a better feel of it. I don't be like, because some people think like, oh, you're just one of them critics. Like, no, I go in here completely full blind reaction on this bitch, and then I give my take on it, and then whatever happens to it.
I got the luxury of not even having a chance to read the reviews. I watched it the minute the movie dropped on Netflix.
Right.
So I watched it. fell in love with it. But regardless,
Right.
I just try to tell people, like, just because you like something does not mean it sucks.
Right.
A prime example. I try my damnedest, and I slip up every now and again, but I try my damnedest to try and tell people that, like, I don't think mumble rap sucks.
Right.
It's just not for me.
Right.
And that's just on the music side of things.
Right. It's people like mumble rap, and people go
and
concerts.
there are people who love it, and that's
I'm
fine.
Damn, all right.
I won't.
Right, I won't either. Hey, what do you
Whatever.
think I
He listens to 6ix9ine. Don't listen to him.
That's the only mumble rap, bitch. That's the only one.
But no, so that's like I said. I'm cutting back on everything else to give us more time to be able to do stuff like this, or not this, but the horror channel.
Just everything.
I also am missing spending a lot of time with my girl or the cat or my kids when they're here, because of everything combined.
I was told, like, hey, if you just want to hang out, we can just fucking hang out.
No, we're still going to do the podcast. Do not trip.
Keep that.
The podcast is going nowhere. I do love Marvel.
I know. I'm just as a friend. I'm just we cool. I was like, hey, if you just want to just hang out, fuck you.
I tried to get him to just come hang out, and he doesn't just come hang out.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I was like, hey, we're having a board game night. You should come hang out. He's like, I might be there, and then I don't hear from him until Monday. He's like, yeah, I decided not to come. Well, no shit, you weren't here yesterday. I know.
So you just gonna put that on me, bro?
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, one of your friends start acting. Now let me.
But no,
I probably should have showed up like.
where's my fried chicken?
Right.
And for anybody that is not here, that is an ongoing joke for today. It is not a racial profiling joke.
No, right? We got it.
He is mad because somebody invited him someplace and they're not having fried chicken. So that is the ongoing joke of where's my fried chicken. I would also like to know where my fried chicken is.
Nico, if you're watching this or it's Apocalypse, make a rap about where's my fucking fried chicken. Somebody make a rap about where's my fried chicken.
Hi Nico. Nico doesn't rap.
No,
Nico
he doesn't
just
rap.
promotes.
Yeah, he promotes. Find somebody that says, where's my fried chicken? Just make a whole rap about it. I will put that on my playlist and bench press that.
But no, so next week, remember we are covering the next 6 episodes of Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes, which you can find on Disney Plus if you want to watch it along with us. That is going to be episodes 14 through 19.
Right, and then the other 6
And then we'll be
comics.
covering the 6 comics that we had mentioned earlier. And that's going to do it.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we love you guys. We will see you all next week. Excelsior.
I got a Spider-Man drip.